Welcome back to Focus Empire, the home for high-level strategy, power dynamics, and elite mindset mastery. If you are determined to command respect and master the unspoken rules of influence, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Today, we are uncovering one of the most psychological and misunderstood rules in Robert Greene's masterpiece, the 48 Laws of Power. In a modern world obsessed with endless chatter, oversharing, and constant self-expression, most people believe that dominating a conversation means speaking the most. They believe that louder voice equals more control. But in the architecture of real power, the exact opposite is true. Law number 4 states, always say less than necessary. When you attempt to impress people with words, the more you say, the more common you appear, and the less in control you seem. Even if you are saying something completely mundane, if you make it vague, open-ended, and brief, it instantly carries weight. Powerful people impress and intimidate by saying less. The more you talk, the higher the probability that you will say something foolish, expose your vulnerabilities, or hand your leverage over to someone else. In this masterclass, we will explore why silence is your ultimate shield, analyze 2 riveting historical case studies where words meant the difference between life and death, deconstruct the deep psychology behind verbal restraint, and give you the actionable framework to master your tongue. 1. The trap of oversharing and verbal incontinence. Human beings have an involuntary desire to fill silence. When an awkward pause happens in a room, our immediate instinct is to plug the gap with nervous energy, explanations, or unnecessary details. Robert Greene warns us that this weakness is routinely exploited by master negotiators and manipulators. When you speak too much, 3 critical strategic errors occur simultaneously. First, you leak information. Every extra sentence you speak gives the listener data about your fears, your desires, your insecurities, and your true motives. You are effectively handing your opponent the key to your safe. Second, over-explaining diminishes your authority. The person who gives long-winded excuses or constantly justifies their actions broadcasts an internal need for approval. Power does not explain itself. Power declares, decides, and remains silent. Third, the more words you use, the lower the value of each individual word becomes. When you speak constantly, people stop listening closely because your words are abundant and cheap. But when you are notoriously quiet, every word you drop into the room hits like a hammer. People lean in, dissect your meaning, and attribute wisdom to your silence. 2. Historical Case Study 1. The Enigmatic Silence of Louis XIV. To witness the ultimate masterclass in using silence as a weapon of absolute control, we look to 17th century France and King Louis XIV, known as the Sun King. Louis XIV built Versailles to consolidate his control over the French nobility. The palace was filled with ambitious dukes, ministers, and courtiers who spent their entire lives plotting, requesting favors, and seeking royal approval. Most rulers before Louis would argue, debate, or give detailed reasons when rejecting a courtier's proposal. Doing so allowed the nobility to counter-argue, negotiate, or find loopholes. Louis XIV destroyed this entire dynamic with a single, legendary phrase. Whenever a noble presented a complex request, a political strategy, or a plea for money, Louis would listen intently with an unreadable, stony expression. When the noble finished speaking, Louis would look at them, pause, and say only 3 words, "Je verrai," which translates to, "I shall see." He would then walk away without adding another syllable. This brief, enigmatic response drove the French court insane with anxiety. Because the king gave no clue as to whether he approved or disapproved, the nobles spent days analyzing their own words, wondering if they had offended him or pleased him. Out of fear, they would voluntarily alter their behavior, offer better terms, or abandon their plots altogether. By saying less than necessary, Louis XIV forced the most powerful men in France to defeat themselves in their own minds. 3. Historical Case Study 2. The Deadly Slip of Coriolanus. While Louis XIV used silence to rule an empire, history gives us a tragic warning of what happens when a legendary leader fails to master law number 4, the story of Gnaeus Marcius Coriolanus, a great hero of ancient Rome. Coriolanus was a brilliant military general. He won countless battles for Rome and was widely considered an invincible warrior. Naturally, he decided to run for the highest political office, consul of Rome. On the day of the election, Coriolanus spoke to the citizens. Because of his military triumphs, the people were ready to elect him without hesitation. But Coriolanus possessed a major flaw. He could not control his tongue, and he despised the common populace. Instead of keeping his political speeches short, humble, and diplomatic, he began to speak at length. As he kept talking, his arrogance took over. He openly insulted the crowd, mocked their poverty, and demanded they obey him based purely on his battlefield glory. The mood of the Roman citizens shifted from admiration to outright fury in minutes. The people felt insulted, alienated, and threatened by his words. Not only did Coriolanus lose the election, but his unstoppable urge to keep talking eventually got him charged with treason and permanently banished from Rome. Coriolanus lost everything, not because he lacked strength, courage, or talent, but because he did not know when to keep his mouth shut. 4. The psychology of the unspoken word. Why does saying less than necessary exert such a hypnotic, intimidating force over human psychology? The human brain naturally detests mystery. When someone gives us incomplete information, our minds immediately work overtime to fill in the blanks. We project our own fears, fantasies, and insecurities onto the missing pieces. When you practice law number 4, you harness this psychological phenomenon in 3 powerful ways. 1. You force others to reveal themselves. Silence creates an uncomfortable vacuum in conversation. Most people cannot stand silence and will rush to fill it by talking incessantly. If you simply stay quiet after someone finishes speaking and maintain neutral eye contact, they will almost always keep talking, revealing their true motives, secrets, and concessions just to relieve the tension. 2. You maintain the element of surprise. The less people know about your opinions, your threshold for anger, or your exact boundaries, the harder it is for them to manipulate you. A quiet person is an unpredictable variable, and unpredictability creates genuine fear. 3. Your words gain architectural weight. When you do not waste words on trivial matters, people realize that when you do choose to speak, it is deliberate, important, and non-negotiable. Brevity commands respect. Verbosity invites debate. 5. The Focus Empire Blueprint. Practical Silence Protocols. How do you implement law number 4 in your everyday professional life, your social interactions, and your personal relationships without appearing antisocial or cold? Here is your practical action framework from Focus Empire. Protocol 1. The 3-second rule in negotiations. When someone makes an offer, delivers a statement, or asks a question, never respond immediately. Count 3 seconds in your head before uttering a word. This brief pause communicates complete emotional composure and signals that you are evaluating them, rather than reacting to them. Protocol 2. Never defend yourself with over-explanations. If you make a mistake or face criticism, state the facts clearly and briefly. Do not deliver long-winded stories, emotional excuses, or defensive ramblings. Say, "I take full responsibility. It will be corrected immediately." End of sentence. Brevity projects bulletproof confidence. Protocol 3. Use short, open-ended answers. In corporate environments or social power dynamics, respond with short, controlled phrases. Phrases like, "Interesting, tell me more," or "I will consider it," place the burden of speech entirely back onto the other person while keeping your own position completely secure. Protocol 4. The power of no without justification. When setting boundaries, simply say no, "I won't be able to do that." Resist the urge to give 5 reasons why. Reasons give people something to argue against. A simple, calm refusal stands like a brick wall. Control over your life begins with absolute control over your tongue. The tongue is a small muscle, but it has brought down kings, destroyed empires, and ruined brilliant careers. By committing to say less than necessary, you step out of the chaotic noise of the crowd and enter the quiet, strategic space of true power. Let others talk, let others reveal their hands, while you observe, calculate, and execute in silence. Rule your tongue, guard your words, and build your kingdom. Thank you for watching this deep dive into law number 4 on Focus Empire. If this video brought value to your mindset and strategy, hit the like button, subscribe to join the empire, and share this with someone who needs to master the power of silence. Drop a comment below with your thoughts. Have you ever regretted saying too much in a critical moment? Let's discuss in the comments below. Stay sharp, remain silent, and we will see you in the next video.